From New York, it's Saturday night! Except we're not in New York and it's not Saturday.
It's not.
Except for we're all in different places, except for Matt and Bob, and it's actually Thursday. But
That's correct.
If you just average out our locations, try to find like the geographical center, it might,
live from Kansas City.
Yeah.
That's close enough.
It's not a number 2, it's a number 9.
Yeah, Kansas City is the unofficial future home of Android Police HQ because it has Google Fiber.
Totsies.
And the DSL company up here said like a year ago that they were going to roll out gigabit fiber in my city, and it hasn't happened yet, and I'm very upset.
Yeah, I think they probably lied.
Yeah, I don't know. They said that it was going to happen in the next year, and it's almost been a year, goddammit.
That was their way of keeping you from jumping ship to buy that internet service that you can't even buy where you are.
I don't use them anyway. Nobody really does because, I mean, DSL sucks in general. So the sad truth is everybody just uses Comcast because it's faster.
Are they still DSL when they're fiber? I mean...
No, well, I mean, it'll be fiber to the local hub at least. I guess since it's gigabit, it probably has to be fiber like to your door.
No, yeah, it has to be fiber to the curb if it's going to be gigabit.
Yeah, so I mean,
unless they've discovered some kind of magical mega DSL.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have heard that they are
like SDN.
I've heard that they're upgrading lines because a lot of the neighborhoods in this city are like have super old phone lines and like no fiber anywhere. So who knows?
They need more fiber.
Children need more fiber.
Yes, if only Google would give it to them.
Come on, Googles.
I wish Chrome would stop telling me they can't Chromecast at your house. I know I can't Chromecast the podcast.
It's just trying to shame somebody into buying, Chromecast.
Well, Bob, you have a Chromecast, don't you?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
I have a Fire TV stick.
Yeah, I have 2 Chromecasts in the house, which last week earned me $12.
Yeah, me too.
I was so bummed out
because I
did
the
not
savvy
get
investor.
more credit for my Chromecast. For some reason, it just did not give me that.
Oh.
Yeah, that happened to some people. I don't know why, but yeah. So I mean, the Chromecast has paid. It's paid for itself and then some.
Yeah, it worked with both of mine.
It's 8:31. Just
let's do this because hopefully we can finish in time to see the at least the fourth quarter.
At least the fourth quarter.
I'm shooting for. Go.
You're shooting for what? A basket?
I'm shooting to see the second half of the game. I mean, aside from the game I have playing beside the monitor, but
Okay.
Welcome to the Android Police Podcast, your weekly audio source for all things Android. It is Thursday, February 12th, 2015. I'm your host, Matthew Smith.
I'm David Ruddick.
I'm Cameron Summerson.
I'm Ryan Whitwam.
And my name's Bob Severance. Welcome to the show.
Unfortunately, we don't have any lovey-dovey, heart-shaped programming provided for you tonight.
You just wait, Matt.
No. Oh, well. Oh, damn. Now I'm scared.
Just wait.
Can we just call it a show? Can we just wrap it right now?
It's a show.
It's a show. Anyways, let's get started with some Code Google. All right, so the big event in all of your Google calendars on a yearly basis is Google I/O, and now you finally have a day to tie that down to for the year 2015, as Google has announced the official dates for I/O, and it seems like it's a little bit earlier than last year, right, Ryan?
Indeed it is, a little bit earlier. The days are May 28th and 29th, and it will be in San Francisco, as it always is. But, I think we probably could have figured out what day I/O was going to be weeks ago, because it is always when Bertel is on vacation. That just seems to happen. And we could have just asked him a few weeks ago, like when he was going to go on vacation, and then we would have known.
Bertel.
Yeah. So it's the same deal as last year, where when registrations open, which this year March 17th at 9 in the morning Pacific, you can apply for a ticket, and then there will be a drawing to dole them out. So you don't have to hover over your keyboard and hit F5 until the page goes live and have 20 seconds to maybe get a ticket. You'll just apply, and some people will get them, and there will probably be giveaways and other ways to get a hold of them if you really want to.
So let me get this straight. The tickets go on sale on St. Patrick's Day?
Is that St. Patrick's Day?
It is.
Well, then yes.
So I guess you're going to have to postpone your drinking.
Well, it's 9 in the morning, and I mean,
Right.
Sure,
Dude,
some,
I know, but it's
Patties.
St. Patrick's Day. 9 in the morning is completely in play.
But they usually
well, look,
sell out within 15 minutes, right? So
you don't have to like take a breathalyzer to apply for IO tickets though. So you could be completely hammered, and
That's true.
it's not going to count against you. Probably.
Well, Bob, actually, they don't sell out that quick because it's a lottery, so you can keep signing up for a long time.
oh, I'm thinking of WWDC.
Yeah, you're thinking of that other thing that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
I believe if you don't get a ticket in the drawing, Google will actually send you a runner-up prize in honor of St. Patrick's Day, a live snake.
Nice. And I actually got that. Because St. Patrick and snakes.
He did the thing with the snakes.
It's a Catholicism joke.
Hey.
Well, one of the things we may be hearing about this year at Google I/O will be some new payment system from Google that we really don't know what it's going to be, but apparently they're testing it out right about now. So, David, what's Google testing out with payments, and does this really have anything to do with that proposed soft card acquisition?
Maybe. It's called Plazo, which apparently is some language for place. It was some language that when Liam told me what language it was, I'm like, I'm going to take you at your word that that's a language. But that they're testing this new mobile payment system. It's basically a contextually aware mobile payment system. So you buy something or you order something in an app, let's say, the Plazo app. It's not going to be called Plazo in reality, because that would be dumb. It's just a code name. So you order something in the Plazo app, and then you go to the store to get this thing, and then you talk to the person who gives you the thing, and you're like, hey, that's my thing, and the guy's like, oh, what are your initials? And you give him your initials, and then he hits a button on his phone, and then the transaction completes, and then you take your thing, and you're happy, and that's clearly the future of paying for stuff, I guess. Google's actually just testing it. They're testing it at Papa John's and what was the other one? There's another one. Oh, Panera Bread. So people are buying mediocre pizza and underpriced or overpriced sandwiches with Plazo right now. Google employees.
I kind of like Papa John's. Does that make me a bad person?
Apparently David thinks it does. I mean, David might just be like some sort of idealist pizza lover. I don't know. He has very specific ideas about what a good pizza is.
I once read an article about Papa John, and it made him sound like kind of an asshole. So I don't support their business.
I have heard this as well, but
Yeah, I typically try not to support businesses of assholes also.
So yeah, that's Plazo. It's maybe a thing eventually, or maybe not. It could just become nothing because it's just an experiment.
Are we having an awkward silence now? Is that what's happening?
Don't you see that on the spreadsheet?
No, we should actually add some of those in.
We're having some audio issues. Can you tell?
No way.
That's what I heard.
Okay. Stand by. I hope that sounds as cool to them as it does to us. Don't use. Check. Okay. What's going on here? Hello. Stand by.
I just like to say that I agree with Mullins that Papa John's is just a step above Domino's. It's like it's a little better, but I mean better enough to get it,
Where
but
does,
not better enough to be good.
Where does Little Caesars fall? Is that like way
Little
down
Caesars
past?
is sort of like the Mickey's Big Mouth of pizza. You know, it's
don't know
for
what that
times
is.
of malt liquor.
I see. It's
so
the malt liquor of pizza.
It is.
Okay, interesting.
But for $5, I mean, you know.
You know, I kind of like Little Caesars pretzel pizza. I had to think of what it was called.
They have a pretzel pizza?
Yeah, they do. I mean, maybe it's not
I
nationwide.
need to get really drunk and investigate this.
Okay, I think we're back. Sorry about that. So where were we, gents?
I think we were ready to move on from the.
Well, we
I mean,
can,
we're
but it's
talking
probably worth
about.
noting that we really did not get any audio from David on the whole mysterious new mobile payment system.
None?
Well, we got the beginning part.
Listen to him. He's like, oh God.
I don't know where we
do it
cut
again."
off, Bob. Do you?
I do not know where we cut off now.
If you want to do it again, we can just call the CEO of some other company an asshole and just see if we can get sued.
Sure. I don't even know what company you called their CEO an asshole.
That would be Papa John's.
Ah.
He
It's good that
called
we didn't
Papa
have
John
that.
an asshole.
We didn't miss anything. Let's just proceed, Matt.
All right, so YouTube has hit the rumor mill again. Apparently, they're working on a new sort of radio service, which radio service for a video platform is kind of an interesting concept. It's like radio killed the video. No, probably not. David, what are we hearing is going on with the new personalized radio from YouTube?
I'm pretty sure they just took auto-generated playlists and changed the name to radio and removed the limit of the number of items that can be placed in the playlist. That's YouTube Radio.
YouTube Radio, which might actually be a good move because I hate the whole auto playlist thing. So maybe just rebranding it might make me hate it slightly.
It's
less.
true because like an auto playlist suggests that YouTube knows what you want to see next, which of course it doesn't. Like I could go from Beyonce to cat video, and like it's a fine line. But from Beyonce to maybe another Beyonce video, well, if you call that radio, maybe YouTube's onto something, and offending me a little less by not calling it a playlist.
Well, you're the one who clicked on the Beyonce video in the first place.
It's
I
true.
know. Why would you do that to yourself?
Because so that she could be his halo, halo, halo. She could be...
It was at this moment that I wish I could remember what it was that Kanye said when he interrupted Taylor Swift, but unfortunately,
He said,
I don't.
I know. He said, "I'm gonna let you finish."
I'm gonna let you finish. But like Beyonce had the greatest video of all time. All time. That's what he said.
I can't believe that, like, as a society, we still let that dumbass talk on TV and in public, and where people will listen. He is just, oh my God.
Is he an asshole?
I don't think we can do anything to prevent him from talking, but we certainly don't have to listen.
Well, I meant, yeah, that's what I'm saying, on TV and publicly. Like, yes, he is an asshole. He is a complete asshole.
Okay, that should be the theme of today's show, is just point out people that we think are assholes.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yes.
It's like the anti-Valentine's Day.
I say we stick with that theme, and we see how long it takes for somebody to point out somebody who may or may not be hosting the show.
But, I mean, look, I put all these hearts over here off to the side on my camera, so...
That makes up for it.
There they are. So it's clearly the Valentine's show. We can talk about people being assholes if we want to.
I don't think it's customary to talk about assholes on a Valentine's Day show.
Depends on what kind of show it is.
I think.
Listeners, we're all like, well, maybe.
Android Police After Dark.
Android, yeah.
Android police love proctologist.
Kanye is the Papa John of the music industry.
Love proctologist.
This podcast is rated M.
Yeah. For
Hey, should we move on to the rumor roundup?
We should.
Let's do it.
It's time for the Rumor Roundup.
I love how we still have the droid in there. Nice droid sounder.
Droid.
I don't think Verizon uses that anymore.
I like that droid sounder.
All right, so kicking things off with NVIDIA, who has sent out invitations to a March 3rd press event that apparently has been quite a long time in coming. Kim, do we have any idea what NVIDIA is set to announce?
Nah.
Nah.
Not officially, but I'm sure we can speculate. And
we can speculate the hell out of it. But before we do that, let's talk about what they're not going to what's not going to happen. Actually, I don't want to talk about what's not going to happen. Let's just speculate. Let's just speculate the shit out of it. So
It's totally going to be a TV box.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's like because just a few weeks ago we were saying, hey, Tegra X1 would be really cool in an Android TV box. Maybe they should do that.
Yes.
That's what they're going to do.
Yes. That's what I'm hoping for. That's my fingers.
We got this email about this thing from this guy who says NVIDIA Russia, leaked the fact that it could be like a larger NVIDIA Tegra TV partnership kind of thing, where if you use a Tegra chip in your smart TV, which will have Android TV.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. I mean, I think that the big deal with this is probably going to be game stream built into whatever this thing is.
Definitely game streaming.
And that's going to be.
I think Grid will probably be the bigger draw for most people.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I mean I have I play a lot of PC games, so it would be cool for me. Not everybody does, but that would be really awesome to have an easy way to get that onto my TV.
Do you think it's just going to be like the partnership with smart TV manufacturers, or do you think that there's also going to be a Shield box too?
I think there'll be a box. I think they'll announce hardware.
That's what I'm hoping anyway, and I'm hoping it's available soon.
I hope that it's available.
It's available today.
I want it to be available soon, and I want an NVIDIA employee to come to my door and give me one immediately.
Me too.
I think the other thing is that with their whole focus on cars at CES, it's easy to see them this year trying to make this narrative of embedded applications. Like that's what they want to do with Tegra X1, which makes me feel like they want to do that with Tegra X1 because it's probably not that efficient in anything that's not plugged into, say, an alternator or a 112 volt outlet. So I think TV partnerships would make a huge amount of sense for them.
Yeah, I mean they had that like the dual chip version of X1 that they showed off for cars. Like I feel like they're definitely. I mean, I feel like they made it clear that Tegra X1 has the power to do stuff like that in an embedded application, but they've also said that it'll have a similar power envelope to the K1, which, I mean, obviously that was a pretty power-hungry chip, but
that was a large manila envelope.
It could, it could work in a tablet, reasonably well. I mean, apparently the 20 nanometer manufacturing process makes it even a little bit more efficient, if it's optimized correctly.
Yeah, but as far as the GPU goes, though, I mean, I would imagine, well, I don't know. Hard to say, I guess.
So does nobody else think that they're going to introduce Game Stream for the car?
Boy, that would be a really bad idea.
I think that, I mean, because then you could, because then what if somebody stole a car that had Game Stream built in and they played Grand Theft Auto?
What if somebody stole your car and you were playing a grid game on your car built-in dashboard, and they took it and they started messing with your saved games? Now that would suck. That's why they can't do it.
That's exactly it.
Dude,
you're right.
It's not a safety thing. It's just like they don't, you don't want to get your cloud saves all messed up when somebody steals your car.
But here's the killer thing: is the feature that makes it usable in the car is the fact that they don't actually show the game; they just have somebody dictating the action to you.
Okay,
so that you can keep your eyes on the road while you play it. It's voice-controlled games that are, Yeah, that's a.
So it's like
that'd
a
be great.
text RPG, but with bad text to speech.
Right. Perfect.
You guys hit it on the head with that one.
I can't wait
Yes.
to play the next Zork game.
All right, so this announcement's on the 3rd, and Samsung and HTC are both holding theirs on the 1st. So, are those the 3rd as well?
I think that was the first.
So,
It's
in
at
a matter of
10
just those couple of days, there's going to
A
be
couple of days and about 6,000 miles, because Nvidia's in San Francisco and they're in Spain.
Well, sure.
Which Nvidia, it doesn't seem like a good idea to say, hey, let's do an event that might have implications for mobile in San Francisco when the industry's largest mobile event is happening in Spain. It doesn't compute for me that they did that.
Oh, they've lost audio again.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
There were technical issues last week as well. It wasn't the same thing, was it?
I don't know.
Oh my God! Somebody linked the Domino's Pizza review of that kid in the suit. By that kid in the suit, it is. If you've never seen that, it's in the chat right now, and it's amazing.
But we're
He
trying to do a
reviews
show,
Domino's Pan Pizza.
We're trying to do a podcast right now. How dare somebody watch something else while the podcast is going on?
I agree. It is an egregious insult, and if one of our hosts were to do such a thing, they might find themselves in hot water.
I know. I mean, why would somebody who's supposed to be on the show actually watch basketball right now? I mean, or a Papa John's review.
It's a Domino's review, Cameron.
Damn it.
It's just we're just
I
talking about too
apologize.
much pizza
I was
tonight.
actually watching basketball while talking.
Running on indie food reviews would not review asshole Papa John's pizza.
It would have been better if you would have said Papa John's asshole pizza.
That's gross.
I think we're good now. I actually found a loose cable, so I was getting some sort of grounding issue. I think that was making my sound card go haywire.
The sound card was grounded, yo. Okay, sorry.
I hope that's it. Otherwise, we'll just suck again in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Yeah. So, anyways, Bloomberg had some new reports about what might be announced at that Samsung announcement on the 1st of March. So, what do we expect to see there, David?
Okay.
It's something that you hate. I'll give you a hint.
So Bloomberg has a rumor that the Galaxy
It
S6
doesn't really narrow it down. I know. I'm sorry.
It doesn't.
I was like, they're going to announce Papa John's?
It's like I spy in my little eye something visible. Anyways, Bloomberg says that the Galaxy S6 is going to debut in two versions, one with a flat screen and one with two edge displays, or as they say, a three-sided screen. Even though I don't think it's fair to say it's a multi-sided screen if one of the angles isn't equal to or lesser than 90 degrees. I don't see how that's, well, I mean, unless they connect and it's like a trapezoid or something. Otherwise, I refuse to acknowledge.
Wait, it's like a
means
trapezoid, but you just can't see the bottom.
Exactly.
I think that, I don't know. I don't think that I would call it a three-sided display either. I think that I would call it a stupid-ass gimmick.
I think that's inaccurate.
Would you say that the CEO of Samsung is an asshole?
Oh my God!
I don't. Well, he has been he was involved in some very sketchy. Actually, The Verge did a pretty good piece on CEO of Samsung. I think 2 years ago, and they did what it's called, the Kaibol, the group of extremely wealthy Korean business people who are all they're all related. They run these giant conglomerates of industry. Anyways, I don't think he's a very good guy either. I don't know if I'd call him an asshole. I haven't done enough research or read enough inflammatory articles, but he could be. So anyways, Bloomberg's saying, yeah, there's going to be one that has 2 edge displays, but Sam Mobile is saying, or was saying, I should say, because they said it, before Bloomberg said this, the edge displays won't be as steep an angle as they are on the Galaxy Note Edge, which has a display edge that's such a tight radius that it makes seeing things more difficult. So I didn't really understand what was going on there. This will be a gentler curve, supposedly. And yeah, they're going to do, like I said, 2 phones, 1 flat, 1 curved, so 1 normal, 1 stupid. And that should be what we're going to see at MWC on March 1st.
Is it unfair that I automatically just think they're both going to be stupid?
Well, they're both going to be stupid in certain ways. One is going to be holistically stupid, though.
Oh, I like.
I just hope Jeremy's back for this one.
Oh my God! If Jeremy is back for this one,
awesome.
the feelings of anger and hatred I have for Samsung are going to grow exponentially if Jeremy is back for this one.
He's going to be old now, though, so.
Well, then that means he's going to be of legal age to get his ass beat.
It's like preteen.
What's going to happen?
Awkward preteen Jeremy, Richie Rich.
Damn it! That's not of legal age to get his ass beat.
All right, so last little bit, of course, we had a screenshot leak out from Verizon this week that showed some release dates for a couple of upcoming devices. So the big headliner, of course, the Nexus 6 coming on February 26th, only several months after everybody else got it. Also on March 5th, something called the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime, and then on the 12th, a sapphire blue version of the Droid Turbo. So if you're a Verizon customer, you can look forward to, well, just the Nexus 6. You don't really care about the other two.
Do we even know what this? Sorry, do we even know what the Core Prime is? That was the first time I had ever heard of that device. I
the Galaxy Core has been released in the Southeast Asian countries, I believe. And I think the Core Prime does exist elsewhere, but I'm not certain about that because I don't pay attention to Samsung's third world phones. So.
Okay.
Do we know what sapphire blue
very
is?
familiar.
Oh, wait, no, that's just a color.
It is.
I think we got it. All right, let's move on to Carrier 411.
Carrier 411.
All right, so the new U.S. laws regarding SIM unlocking your phone in the U.S. kicked in on the 11th. So it's now time for our resident legal expert, David, here to explain to you what that means in terms that, well, actually you still won't be able to understand it, but we'll say it anyways.
So the big thing to know is that if you're on one of the big four or U.S. Cellular or one of the big four's prepaid subsidiaries, these new rules have been adopted universally by those groups. If you're not on one of those, then you're probably not buying a phone that's branded to a carrier anyways, so it probably doesn't matter. But if you are, and for subsidiaries that for T-Mobile includes like Metro PCS, T-Mobile prepaid, and for AT&T that includes like Cricket and AT&T GoPhone and all that stuff. And Sprint, I think that includes Version and Boost as well. The thing to know is that these policies have already been in place for a few months, so if you wanted to take advantage of them, most carriers would let you. The most unlocking-friendly carrier in America is Verizon because of their lease on the 700 megahertz Block C spectrum. They're required to make their devices that use that spectrum interoperable. So they sell their phones unlocked, basically because of this provision. There are a few exceptions. Verizon has kind of ignored the rules occasionally on certain phones. They're usually budget phones. But if you've paid off your phone, basically, if you're on any carrier in America and you've paid off your phone or you bought it on subsidy and your contract is over, as in the 24 months have elapsed or whatever your contract duration was, then you can unlock your phone as long as your account's in good standing. So, like I said, Verizon's the best because most of their phones come unlocked, and the worst one is AT&T because you have to submit a stupid form to them or talk to support, and support has no idea what they're doing. T-Mobile is decent because they ship a unlock app on most of their phones now, their Android phones. So as soon as you're eligible, you just use that app and it will unlock. And Sprint is probably the second best below Verizon because they will automatically unlock your phone once it becomes eligible if it was launched after February 12th or 11th, one of the two. So yeah.
Cool.
To be fair, though, and I know this probably this goes without saying for a lot of folks, but I think one of the main reasons that Verizon's probably been able to be so open with it is the fact that their phones, their 3G coverage is really only tied to Verizon's network, right? I mean, if you go somewhere else, I mean, what signals are you going to be able to get?
Oh no, you can get Verizon's phones all have generally HSPA plus, so you can get AT&T and T-Mobile signal. Now you can't really take them to Sprint; that's not going to work. But yeah, you can take them to AT&T and T-Mobile internationally. Whether or not they'll get LTE though, unlikely on AT&T. You'll get LTE on a Verizon phone that you take to AT&T, if not impossible for some phones. T-Mobile, there is some band overlap there, so you could get T-Mobile LTE on a Verizon phone.
Yeah, Verizon uses AWS for their XLTE thing, so
Yes.
I think T-Mobile should work pretty much everywhere. Almost their entire network is AWS.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did.
Nice.
Yeah.
We might actually save time if we all just got on a plane every Thursday and flew to like a central area and all just got together and did the podcast in person and then flew home.
If we all meet up in Kansas City.
Yeah. I mean, this is sounding more and more plausible the longer
I've
we
been
talk
having
about
some.
it.
I've been having some power issues at my home, and I think maybe that's what's going on. I'm not really sure. Sorry.
Dude, it sounds like your house needs a new battery. I hope you bought a model with a user replaceable battery.
Yeah, I was about to make a very similar joke.
Sadly, it just seems like every 10 minutes it's just going to crap out. And usually when David's speaking. So David, if you could stop speaking for the rest of the show, that.
So it's going to crap out every 10 minutes. Would you say that it's being a shitler?
It's not being nice.
I'm so glad I got to break the shitler out.
Well, put it back.
Put it away, guys.
Put it away.
Boy, Cam really likes that.
Yeah, he did.
I just can't believe I never heard it before or never even thought of it myself. But when you said it, it was just that. I mean, that's it. I'm done.
Like the light bulb went on. Cam's like, "This is what I've been waiting all of my life for."
My whole life, I have been waiting to hear that word.
You guys are wasting our 10 minutes.
I'm guessing you have a lot of situations saved up you could use that in. One might call it a Schindler's List.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, seriously.
Well, I propose that we should move on to the hot sheet.
Hot sheet.
All right, so LG is making their little entrance into the VR headset market, and they're doing it for a price significantly less than what Samsung is offering. They're offering at. In fact, it appears to be free, but only for certain people, right, David?
Yeah. So if you buy an LG G3 at some point that's in the press release I haven't read, you will get a plastic version of Google's Cardboard VR, but it's plastic. So it's not really Cardboard VR, it's plastic VR, which sounds very similar to Samsung's VR, which is also a plastic VR. And also it looks really similar to the Samsung Gear VR. So I'm going to go ahead and say that LG is... This is kind of... It borders on the lame level of copycattery, as cool as Google Cardboard is. LG is obviously doing this so that they can say "Me Too" to Gear VR if Gear VR comes on.
Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting that LG has copied something off of Samsung and not done it as well?
Yes, I am, in fact, potentially suggesting that.
Because I can't imagine that would ever happen. Seems so unlikely.
Sounds to me like that makes LG CEO an asshole. Maybe? Possibly? He's like, well, what next, boss? What did Samsung do? Do that. I imagine that's how LG meetings go. What do you think?
Sounds legit to me.
Yeah.
All right, so Dell had a new tablet that got announced this week, a little bit of an education focused one, but it's the Venue 10. And Ryan, what do we know about it?
So it is going to be a 10-inch Intel-powered slate. There will be a Windows version and an Android version. They have not told us how much the Android version will be, apparently. The Venue 10 Pro, the Windows variant, will be $299. So it'll probably be reasonably well priced with Android, and there'll also be an optional keyboard dock. And yeah, I mean it looks like a pretty straightforward sort of tablet. It's not like mega thin like the Venue 8 is. It will also have a Wacom digitizer, so you can do pen input on it.
Palm rejection? Does it mention anything about that?
I don't know. I don't think it does, but maybe.
I rejected Palm long ago.
Am I the only one who just feels like everybody just kind of forgot about palm rejection? Is it just something that nobody cares about anymore?
I guess it's kind of a given now that it's.
That's how I kind of.
I mean, if
think
you
of it too. Like,
if you're gonna build a stylus into your product, I feel like that just sort of is a thing that comes with it.
I think, Matt, you should embrace your Palm.
Maybe.
Don't reject it.
Dell is all about palm acceptance.
Dell loves his palms.
Also, we'll never see this tablet ever. They just made it, in the hopes of selling it to some of their education customers. We will probably never touch one.
Do you want to bet a pie on that?
I don't.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just checking because that's how we know when you're serious. Is when you say that you'll hit yourself with a pie, and then you have to do it because you tend to lose.
So he's not serious this time. We may see it.
Well, I don't want anyone to kidnap any Dell Venue 10 using school children just so I pie myself in the face on the internet.
Somebody just comes to your door. Look, I found the tablet. Look, there's this kid that sort of, it belongs to. He's in the car, but could you just look at this tablet and then pie yourself?
Sounds legit.
I think that's a good plan, actually. Let's go with that.
Dude, I have a kid. I could just send him off to school and steal it from him when he comes home.
Just talk his school into getting the Venue 10 tablets.
I'm sure they give them away to kindergartners, don't they? I mean,
they give kindergartners iPads now, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, well let's move on to Sony. They have a new phone that got announced this week, the Xperia E4, a little bit more of a budget-minded phone. So Cam, is this anything that's going to hit our radar?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
It could happen. Yeah, I don't know. So basically, the E4 low end. Super duper low end. It's got like a MediaTek quad core, 1.3 gigahertz processor, QHD, little Q HD resolution, not quad HD, but quarter HD. Just so we're clear, 960 by 540. I guess would be the clearest way that I could possibly say it. 1 gig of RAM and 8 gigabytes of storage. It's going to run KitKat. I'll be really surprised. I mean, if we do see this released, anywhere around here, I'll be surprised if it's more than probably $150. So, yeah, unlocked, cheap.
Said the booty.
Yeah, it's basically their Moto E, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably more. Well, I'd say it's probably more like a Moto G. Motog.
Moto EG. One might even say it's more of a Moto F.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking it might be. It's a Moto the Moto. It's like the Moto F. Good call.
The Moto F.
Motof.
All right. So Sony also had a new variant of their smartwatch 3 go on sale. No, that's not even right. Let's start over. Sony also has a new version of the smartwatch 3 that's going on sale this week, right, Ryan?
Yes, that is correct. The words that you just said. The smartwatch 3, when it came out a few months ago, it came with a silicone band, and is kind of ho-hum looking, very very generic. They are releasing the stainless steel version of it this week. At first, you'll only be able to buy the watch and the band together. At some later date, they will sell you just the metal band surround you can plug your previously purchased smartwatch 3 into, because it's just a little core that like pops out of the band, and that's like the whole all of the guts of the watch. And then there's also a custom holder kit that is still a few weeks out that you'll be able to put the watch into, and then attach any 24 millimeter watch strap. So
do we know, does the core come out of the stainless steel one if you buy it in the stainless steel band?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, it should. It's my understanding is that it's the exact same watch, and it would be weird if they somehow like soldered it into the stainless steel band.
Maybe they just used hot glue.
Yeah, that would be kind of that's the sort of thing that somebody would do if they were like the CEO of the company and also an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh, snap. This asshole hot glued my watch. All right, so we got some updates to talk about this week. Lollipop, in fact, HTC One on M8 had their Lollipop updated. It was originally supposed to start rolling out on the 13th, but it started on the 6th instead. So if you got one of those, you should be checking for updates if you haven't already. And also, February 9th, we started to see rollout from the folks over at T-Mobile for their version of the M8. And also, AT&T's G3 is getting a 700 megabyte update to Android 5.0.1. And finally, the Galaxy Note 4 is starting to get Lollipop in Poland. So if you are Polish, check for update.
It's time for product reviews. Our first review this week, the Blue Studio Energy with Cameron Summerson.
Yeah. So the Energy. Really, the only thing we're talking about with the Energy is the fact that it has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery.
That's
everything else about it is, I mean, it's straight up just budget, mid-rangey, whatever. It actually has the same processor as the Sony phone we just talked about. It's this MediaTek 6582, I think. It's a quad-core processor. It can't handle a whole lot of multitasking. I mean, if you've got like music playing and then maybe like navigation, and then you try to do something else, it's pretty much going to grind to a halt. So not really speedy. This phone also only has 1 gig of RAM. It's actually spec'd really similarly to the Sony phone. The only difference is this one has a 720p display and an 8 megapixel camera, which is actually all the MediaTek can handle. So yeah, I mean, it lasts a really long time. I think I got 2 days and 9 hours or 12 hours. Anyway, I got like right around 2.5 days worth of use out of it, and that's pretty heavy use, I think. I mean, that's, GPS, a lot of music streaming, tracking, cycling, stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it's $150. So it's not for a power user. It's probably not really for our target audience. People who listen to the podcast or read the site aren't going to want it for themselves, but it's good to know about for somebody else, like mom, dad, sister, friend who doesn't need it for more than Facebook and text messaging, but wants to make sure that it lasts half a decade without having to be charged. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right, and Ryan, you had a review post this week for the Dell Venue 8 7000. What are your thoughts on that device?
Ryan's muted.
I was muted. Now I'm not anymore, though. So yeah, the Venue 8 is super, super thin. If you're watching live, you can see that's a tablet, and it's crazy thin. And that's really the only interesting thing about it. I mean, it is otherwise a pretty generic sort of Android tablet, but because they worked so hard to make it thin and just ignored like every other design consideration, it is laid out awkwardly. So like on the front, the speaker is down at the bottom, and there's zero bezel on top. and that the camera is also at the bottom. And if you want to hold this tablet, it's sort of, your hand just sort of naturally wants to cover the camera, which wouldn't normally be a huge deal, except that the camera window is also where the ambient light sensor is, so you kind of can't hold it without triggering the light sensor, and the screen dims like all the time. I mean, it's reasonably light, and it is cool using a tablet that's this thin. It's 6 millimeters thick, which is apparently the thinnest tablet in the world right now. The screen is actually pretty nice. It's 2560 by 1600, an OLED display. The colors are pretty good, although if you turn the brightness all the way down, it gets really like red, which is something that happens on some OLED displays. So, I mean, it's just, you know, holding it in landscape mode just because of the asymmetrical bezels makes it kind of awkward to use. And the other thing that Dell is pushing with this device is the Intel RealSense camera setup, where it has one regular camera down at the bottom, and then it has two 720p cameras that it uses for depth sensing. So it's kind of like the HTC One M8's duo camera thing. But I mean, it is not really any better at any of the depth sensing stuff, the post capture autofocus, whatnot. It still gets confused easily, and the quality of the images that it takes are atrocious. It's like, you know, it's a tablet, so you don't expect awesome images, but this is even worse than most tablets. I don't even know why they would bother with all of this Intel camera stuff if they were going to put kind of a crappy sensor and crappy optimization for the photos in it. So that's all kind of a throwaway. So basically you're left with, like, you know, a really thin tablet that has kind of a neat design that, you know, is somewhat awkward, but you know, it's the thinnest tablet in the world, and you can buy one for $400, which is a little high. It should maybe be, you know, $50 less, but you know, it's not a bad device.
Do you like it or the Nexus 9 better?
I like the Nexus 9 better because I like the 4:3 screen.
Yeah.
I mean, this has a nice screen, but like, there's not really anything about it that I find particularly compelling in that respect. It's a little bit faster than the Nexus 9. I mean, my Nexus 9 has not been as laggy as yours. So
faster than the Nexus 9. Wow, I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's running an Intel chip. So I mean, it's got some power. There's no lag to speak of. Sometimes there's some weird frame rate stuff in the animations, but I mean, you would think that it should be more comfortable to use than it is. It's just that the layout of everything is just a little bit off.
It kind of reminds me. Just hold it up to the camera again, real quick. Just the front facing. It kind of reminds me of the design of that Sharp Aquos crystal.
Yeah, it is sort of a similar. I think does the Aquos, does it have the camera stuff at the top or the bottom?
I don't think it has anything at the top.
So it's probably
it's
like
all
the
at
same
the
as
bottom
the
too.
bottom. Yes, I mean, it's weird, but like I can see why they put it at the bottom, because if it's the other way around, like, you would be covering the corners of the screen every time you held it, because there's like no bezel to grab any place down there. So like, you have to, if you're going to have the bezels super asymmetrical like this, it has to be at the bottom so that you can at least, like, you know, not cover the screen with your hands when you're holding it. But I mean, it is just kind of a strange decision. If they had been able to do this with like symmetrical bezels, and like, so you had like a little bit of area to like hold on to it, and you could use it in landscape mode without like hating yourself, that would be, you know, ideal. But I'm sure they couldn't do that and make it as thin as they did. I mean, it's really why this tablet exists. I don't think we would be talking about it if it, you know, wasn't, you know, technically the thinnest tablet in the world.
They should just put one of those elastic straps on the back that you can slide your hand into.
Yeah, I think the bezel-less thing, like, when they showed it on the laptop, the new XPS, I was like, all right, well, you can make the laptop smaller and keep a bigger screen, which, hey, good idea.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to hold the laptop screen to use it.
Exactly. And so with the tablet, you run into that, and then there's just the fact that I don't think anyone cares that much, you know. It's one of those things. Bezel-lessness is a huge internet circle jerk. Real world, nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, I would like this device more if it had a little bit of bezel to like grab onto. Like, you can make a device sleek and have the screen still feel, you know, big without having it like right up against the edges of the device on three sides like this. It's just sort of, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting though. I don't want to like. I applaud Dell for trying something different because at least it's a Dell tablet that's not hopelessly boring.
Well, there you have it. Not hopelessly boring. It's a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, poor Dell.
All right, let's move on to app updates. All right, so just a little bit of a story here from Today Calendar. They pushed out an update that had a little bit of an interesting way of dealing with app pirates, or piracy in general. So, David, what are the folks at Today Calendar doing about piracy?
Well, they're doing something that is walking that fine line between being an asshole and not doing anything about piracy in a way that I think is pretty admirable. So, if you pirate Today Calendar, the paid version is there only a paid version? I honestly don't know. I don't use the app. Sorry. But if you have a pirated version of Today Calendar, it randomly adds events to your calendar that make reference to piratey things, and then have graphics of like a plank or a saber. Like it'll randomly put saber rattling course in your calendar or whatever. It's clever. It's fun. And it's moderately shaming of people who pirate things.
It does look like there's a free version, but I don't know.
Regardless, it's a good idea.
It is a good idea. I like it. I approve.
I approve as well.
Random calendar events are always fun.
Yes. All right, email. Not voicemail this week. It's email.
We did have an email.
What?
We did. The subject from Jeff Brooks. Here's a joke for you. Lollipop. Is it just me, or does anyone else feel like they're dog-fooding Lollipop for Google? I've been using the Nexus 6 since day one, and the OS is only getting worse. Is anyone else having endless issues? Most of mine revolve around the dialer and the phone constantly shutting down. I can only do so many clean and wipes a month. Hopefully he's talking about his phone and not his ass. Suggestions? Workarounds? Hello, 5.1.
No, I hate it too. I hate not Kit Kat. Lollipop. I hate Lollipop. I think it sucks, and that's why I'm using Kit Kat again. And I
Lollipop's
really
a real son of a bitch.
It's that's like I said a couple of weeks ago. I'm actually still using this blue Vivo Air, and I still like it. But I'm kind of thinking about going back to the Nexus 5. But if I do, I'm gonna flash 4.4.4 on it first because until they fix the memory issues and Lollipop, I just can't use it.
Yeah. I have not had Lollipop issues on the Nexus 6 because it has enough RAM that the memory leak thing doesn't really seem to affect me negatively. I've not really had any dialer issues or restart problems, so I don't know. There might just be something wonky with that particular device. But yeah, I don't know. I don't hate Lollipop as much as Cam. Cam curses Lollipop's name at every opportunity. But no, I still use mostly Lollipop devices, but if a device annoys me too much, I can just switch to a different one. I don't have to cope with something that I hate forever.
Yeah, I was getting pretty tired of my Nexus 6 rebooting on the daily. My Nexus 6 had IBS, irritable boot syndrome. It was constantly that AT&T jingle.
I was going to say you bought it from AT&T. That was your problem.
Mine rebooted daily when I used it regularly.
Actually, I think there's a strong case to be made that it doesn't just affect AT&T, but that the regular Nexus 6 without the AT&T bootloader animation doesn't make a sound when it restarts. It's silent, and so it may be restarting in your pocket because it only ever restarts when the screen is off, never when it's on. So it's possible people's phones are restarting and they're just not noticing.
Yeah, I guess I might have missed some restarts, but my phone usually sits face up on my desk, during the day, and I've not noticed any reboots while it's been sitting there.
Well, fine.
Yeah, yours is just
Maybe
broken.
your Nexus is perfect. Maybe mine is
weird.
terrible and awful.
What's weird is I think that Artem's luck is starting to rub off on you, because it seems
Apparently.
like all the things that you buy are not working right.
Yeah, my G-Watch R has been freaking out on me lately. I've been having weird random times where Wear just disconnects and won't reconnect. Or the weird bug that I've had twice, and I can't replicate it reliably. The watch will show that it's the microphone isn't working, there's a cross to the microphone icon, and ambient mode then disables itself. It's in some kind of ultra power saving mode. But there's no way to fix it other than wiping the device.
That's very odd.
It is. It's extremely aggravating. I've never hated a watch so much. This is what smartwatches have done. They've taken generally likable things or generally ambivalent things like watches and made them into something you can be angry at.
Well, you hate everything. Are you saying that you didn't hate watches before? Because I
didn't.
feel like that would be...
I hated some watches. It's mostly the fact that people wore some watches. That's what I hated. But come to think of it, I'll probably hate some people for wearing some smartwatches too. So it's. But I feel like the circle of hate is growing into my personal experience with a watch. How can a watch have bad user experience?
All right, I think that's going to just about do it. We do have a giveaway going on the website right now from AndroidPolice.com and Dead Zebra. It's several different chances to win some of the 5th series of the Android figurines. It's a box of 16, which includes the entire set. There's several blind boxes to give away, also a signed copy of the police officer, the skate cop figurine. So make sure you get yourself entered in to win at AndroidPolice.com/contests.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. As always, send your feedback to podcast@androidpolice.com. You can also call us at 530-HELLO-AP. That's 530-435-5627. Find us on Twitter at Android Police, Google Plus, and Facebook.
Word.
Can we call this episode The Circle of Hate?
Sure.
Perfect.
I feel like that really sort of sums it up.
I totally agree.
Because we can't. Because I don't think we can probably get asshole in the title. I think that's probably pushing it a little much. But
We could also call it the trapezoid of hate.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
The three-sided trapezoid.
I was thinking anti-Valentine's Day, like the anti-Valentine.
The anti-Valentine's Day three-sided trapezoid of hate.
I like that. Write it down and send it to me in an email so I remember. I wonder how long I can get an episode title to be. I'll just keep typing. Damn the metadata. Damn it.
All right.
So we had a good 30 minutes or so there with it didn't die. So that was nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I have a I have a UPS. I don't have a power conditioner, but I might have to put my audio interface in the UPS. I'll play with it. Sorry, folks, for the random slow periods.
Yeah,
Better than missing a period.
We worked it out eventually.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna.
All right, folks.
Head out.
Well, we shall see you next week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be safe. Adios.
Yeah.
Have a good.
I'm gonna go watch basketball.
I'm going to go and not watch basketball. So
watch all the basketballs.
I'm going to continue watching basketball.
Oh,
I'm not
that's
going
why we're
anywhere.
having all the problems, because
I'm
you're
actually
watching
going
basketball.
to continue to watch basketball also. I also want to mention 65-54. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, well, things change.
Things do change.
They do, because now it's 68-57. So you're right. Correct you are. They do change. Very good.
Night.
Wow, you just made me realize how far behind Sling TV is to the actual live feed.
Yeah, I'm watching. I don't know how I'm watching it because it's not available for streaming on League Pass. It let me go to something called TNT Overdrive or something. I have no idea, but I've been watching the backboard cams the whole time. So, I mean, I haven't actually been watching. I've just been glancing over at it occasionally because only an asshole would watch a basketball game while doing a podcast.
Right.
I
Of
would
course.
never.
I was
Never.
watching a podcast while we were doing the podcast.
I was watching a podcast while we were doing basketball. What?
Oh, that's impressive. You have like Google Glass.
Derrick Rose. That's what that was.
All
All right,
right,
man. Catch you
I'm
later.
out. Peace.
See ya. I'm still broadcasting. I should hit the stop button now.